Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla. I'm talking a lot about the Tesla Gigafactories on this channel because Tesla is building them like crazy. The Tesla Gigafactory in Shanghai went from muddy field to production and delivery of its first cars in just 1 year. And they are now building the Gigafactory 4 in Berlin, and I do expect that to be done by the end of the year if they can keep up the blazing pace they have right now. But that begs the question, why are the Gigafactory 1 in Nevada still only 30% done? After they started building that in 2014, 6 years ago. What are they waiting for? Did something go wrong, or is this according to plan, or did the plan change down the road? Why is this taking so long when we have seen Tesla can build a whole Gigafactory in just 1 year? Let's check it out and let's dive right in. The Gigafactory in Nevada is right now where Tesla is building batteries, battery packs and motors for the Model 3, and then transporting all this to the Fremont factory where they are assembling the Model 3. And they are also making power walls and power packs at the Gigafactory in Nevada. When finished, this factory will be one of the biggest factories in the world and will have cost about $5 billion. And will occupy approximately an area of 13 million square feet. And it will also have 200,000 solar panels on the roof, which should be the biggest solar array in the world when finished. This factory will become a net zero factory in energy, meaning it will produce as much renewable energy from solar and wind as it uses. So this mega structure will be amazing when it's finished. But it is far from finished, and they started building this factory 6 years ago in 2014. But it is still in 2020 only 30% finished. Why? Because we do know they can build a factory in less than a year. Why is this one taking so long? They did actually say from the beginning they expected the factory to be finished in the early 20s. So they had planned from the beginning that they would only make 30% of the factory to begin with, so they could get production up and running as soon as possible, and then build out the factory as needed. And when we look at the factory in Shanghai, they didn't actually finish that one either, before they started production of the Model 3. That was only the first phase. They are now building out the factory with phase 2. And we will see something like this with Gigafactory 4 in Berlin as well. They will build the first phase, then start production of Model 3 and Model Y, and then build out the factory even more. But why are they already building out factories in Shanghai and starting building a whole new factory in Germany when the Gigafactory 1 in Nevada is still only 30% finished? Well, I think it was the plan all along. They got the Model 3 off the ground, not without some difficulties. They went through production hell and almost died, but came out on the other side and have now got the Model 3 on steady ground. And Tesla put everything in getting this car off the ground before they would move on. But I think the plan all along was to wait with the Gigafactory in Nevada and get the other factories up and running first to get the Model 3 to other markets. So the plan was get the Model 3 off the ground in the US with Gigafactory 1, making the batteries and motors and assembling in the Fremont factory. When that was up and running, ship some of the cars to Europe and China while starting production of the Gigafactory 3 in Shanghai. And China is the place to be when it comes to the EV market, so good move from Tesla to start there in the biggest EV market in the world. When that is up and running, start building the Gigafactory 4 in Berlin. And all this because the Model 3 and Model Y is Tesla's cash cow. And they need these factories to produce Model 3 and Y as soon as possible to make some money for Tesla. When all this is up and running and making Tesla money, then they can build out the factory in Nevada. I also think maybe the business model has changed a little bit over the years, because like we see with the Gigafactory 3, they are making the factories very integrated, and every factory going forward will make their own batteries for the production they are making in that particular factory. So I don't think the Cybertruck will get batteries from Nevada. I think everything will be made in the new Gigafactory in Texas, including the batteries for this car. And they will probably start breaking ground on that factory in a couple of months as well, if they want to meet the deadline of bringing this Cybertruck to the people in the end of 2021. But I also think they are waiting for their new battery technology to be ready for mass production before they build out the Nevada factory, because I still think the factory is going to be all about batteries. And I know that 30% can sound small, but this factory in Nevada is by no means a small factory. Already the current structure has a footprint of more than 1.9 million square feet, which houses approximately 5.3 million square feet of operational space across several floors. That is just as many square feet as their massive and impressive factory in Fremont. So even though it's not yet finished, it is already a huge factory in itself. But what will they make in this factory when it's done? Chris Lister, vice president of the Gigafactory, he did say they will use it to build something, but have not yet said what. And he said, we have a ton of options.
If you look at the parking lot, that will all eventually be production space for something. Whether that's growth of Model 3, whether that's future products, whether that's more cell production, whether that's energy products, there's a ton of different options that we have. But we have the land to do it, and we have the products to support that.
So maybe the full Model 3 production, so they can get it out of the Fremont factory, so that will be a more specialized factory where they develop all the tech and test everything out. Just like we see right now with their secret project Roadrunner, that is being developed in Fremont, but only in a little area about 30,000 square feet. So that sounds like it's only going to be testing and developing, and when they really are going to ramp up production, I think they will move it to the Gigafactory in Nevada. So Fremont will probably continue to be producing Model S and X, which is not a high volume car, and then make new technologies and test them at Fremont factory, where they also have their test track for their cars. So maybe the Nevada factory will produce the Model 3, the Model Y for the US and Canada, since they are high volume cars and need a huge factory. And right now the Model 3 for the US and more is being built in 2 factories. Not like the Gigafactory in China, where the whole car is built in 1 factory, and they will even build the batteries there as well. And the same goes for the upcoming Gigafactory in Germany. So I definitely think that Gigafactory 1 is meant to be that kind of factory as well. So the American version of the other factories. And they will of course also produce batteries and power walls and power packs like they are already doing, but just scaling up production like crazy when they are building out the factory. But this is where I think they are also waiting for the project Roadrunner to finish. Because that is their new technology, not just in battery cells themselves, but also in the way they're going to produce the batteries. And the Gigafactory Nevada could become Tesla's first terafactory, meaning that the output capacity of the Gigafactory 1 could be so huge it is more like a terafactory than a gigafactory. But times will tell how close the factory will get to that. Because when we think of it, they are already making about 3.5 million battery cells per day in the Gigafactory 1. And that is a factory that is only 30% finished and with their old production technology with Panasonic. When they get everything together they have learned from Maxwell, Hybar, Grohmann and so on, it is not just the batteries themselves that is going to be much better, but the production capacity of the battery is going to be many times better than it is today, and Gigafactory 1 is probably going to spit out 10 if not 100 of millions of battery cells every single day. So it does make sense that they are going to make this high volume car, the Model 3, in this factory, and the storage options like the Powerwall and Power Packs, because the batteries they need for these storage systems are going to be massive. Just like the battery they need for the semi-truck. One truck uses as many batteries as about 10 cars, and the Nevada factory is going to help with production of the batteries and powertrain for this truck, Elon did say in his leaked email, but also saying that most of the other work probably occurring in other states. That can only mean being assembled in the Fremont factory, because it is the only other factory they have in the US except the one in Buffalo that is making solar panels. But that is also just too far away from the Gigafactory 1 to make sense, and is also much smaller. But how they'll be able to find space at the Fremont factory, we have to wait and see. Maybe Tesla will raise some tents, as we saw with the production of the Model 3. But Elon also said probably in other states. So maybe there is a chance it will be made at the Gigafactory 1 in Nevada. Also because they have much more room there if they really want to make a big tent to assemble the semi-truck in. Or as Electric did write about in February, there are actually some huge warehouses just next to the Gigafactory Nevada that Tesla also owns, shown in these drone footage from jury duty. And they are about 500,000 square feet of space, so maybe they can find some room here to make the semi-truck. But why not just get the factory built and get the room they need? Maybe because they're not sure exactly what they want to produce in the factory, or maybe they're just waiting for the new battery manufacturing technology so they know exactly how to build the last part of the factory to really ramp up battery production. Because this is going to be a crucial part of the growth of Tesla. And then get the Model Y, the Model 3 up in high volume, but that is of course just my guess. Massive battery production, battery storage, Model 3, Model Y, and maybe the semi-truck. But what is your guess? What is the Gigafactory Nevada going to produce when it's fully complete? And why are they not just getting the factory finished? Let me know your great guesses and theories down below. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. It does really help out this video so others can find it as well. And if you are new to this channel, you should consider subscribing. I come out with videos like this all the time and have a weekly news episode every Sunday about Tesla, Elon Musk, and everything in between. And if you can't wait until Sunday and want the news as it comes out, don't forget to follow me on Twitter. I tweet almost all the news in there as they come out. And you can also check out my new Instagram page. If you are already a subscriber, thank you so much for the support. If you want to support the channel even more, you can for as little as $1 support this show, but it really means a lot for the channel. And to all my Patreons already supporting the show, thank you so much for your support, really appreciate it. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.